Well, did you want to talk about your involvement?
Of course, but I think maybe we should show these Kino Casino clips first. This is where it gets crazy. And again, we're leaving a lot of stuff on the floor. I don't know where I could recommend you guys go to get the full story, because again, the full story is like 100+ hours of video content to get through, which we've taken in. I can't recommend that you go out and try to watch that 100 hours of all the Steel Toes, all the Meltons, all the Kino Casinos, all the Alex Stein, all the Law Tubers. But we'll show you some of our favorite clips. Should we go to Kino Casino where he starts? Okay, is that in up next?
Yes.
Wait till you see this. So I got a new favorite show, this Kino Casino, starring Ames Andy Worski. Now, who was Andy Worski? Was a guy, he used to listen to REDBAR. I think he called it on the show once.
You did a man bun with him once.
Yeah, and he was, and then I saw this video of him years later where he was involved in some sort of street fight with somebody where one of his friends pulled out a gun on a guy and Andy Worski was yelling, "Aim, aim." So we started calling him Aim. Turns out the whole internet was calling this guy Aim as well. They still bring it up to this day. Was that like a... Anyway, he does a show now, and this is, what is this? Kino Casino. What else do people need to know about that show?
This is my first time watching
This is a show on Kick. Start watching. Aaron goes on this show. Now, Aaron is going on everybody's show. Okay, so he's on Kevin Brennan. He starts seeing all the attention that he's getting, and he's loving it. Because finally, he's famous. This is really all he cares about. Even till this day, I'm listening to Steel Toe this morning. Somebody asks him, "Aaron, do you want to be famous?" And he said, yes. He loves this more than anything. So if he's getting eyes on him, you know, his stream shot up from 1,000 views to 25,000 views. The super chats are rolling in, and everybody over the last 12 days wanted a piece of Aaron. Everybody wanted to interview him. All these shows that, you know, he's always wanted to be a part of, all these online bullies. Now he's finally one of their friends, or so he thinks. So he's getting a ton of attention, and these guys like Kino Casino, this Andy Worski and Alex Stein and all these people, they're getting him on their shows. They're pretending to be friends with him. They're egging him on. They're saying, "This is so cool. Keep telling us more." And Aaron, stupidly, is spilling everything. You know, he's so easily gassed up by these guys. And, you know, you could tell, anybody could tell these guys are making fun of him. You know, these guys are interviewing a fool. But Aaron doesn't know this. So Aaron's going on any podcast he can. And before the Rekeitas, who are in jail, before his ex-wife, April, gets to speak, he speaks for them. And he starts spilling their personal lives for the last 6 months. He describes every hour of Nick's personal life, every hour of his personal life, and every hour of April's personal life. Only thinking about the attention it's bringing him. Now, this isn't any sort of attention that I'd ever want, so I can't even imagine that. But he is, you know, miraculously feeding off this, and he's so excited that everybody wants to talk to him now. We're going to show you this. To me, this was where everything got the craziest, this Kino Casino stream. So hopefully we can catch some of this, and this will explain some of the story, some of the more unbelievable parts. Let's see if these boys are going to load up here. Guys, here we come. Okay, so...
just skip ahead to when you see Aaron coming in.
Okay, great. Let's do that first. So here's Kino Casino. Let's skip ahead till we see Aaron. Okay, yeah, they did have a little talk about him beforehand. That's Andy Worski, new friend of mine, by the way. And I want to say this before saying I'm friends or hate anybody. I know this whole universe, they all kind of hate each other, too. So, like, Ethan Ralph, I think, hates Andy Worski.
It's really scary in here.
Some of these guys hate Dick Master. You know, they all kind of either like each other or hate each other. I'm on all of your sides today, okay? Because I got in trouble. You know, I was doing one of these riffs where I said I like Vito and Dick Masterson, because they were getting chummy with Josh Denny. So I'm like, oh, I like you guys, which I do. But then I heard that got to the Kiwi Farms owner who hates Dick Masterson, and he heard that I like Dick Masterson. So now he might think that I'm like uncool now.
You were like, no,
I can't have that. So let's just say I don't know who to hate, who to like, but as far as this Aaron stuff goes, bravo to everybody
guy in
involved.
The chat is like, ugh, Mike, you know nothing about this I don't even know.
Nothing about
this deep web sector shit.
Based on
and I'm
saying
like,
what?
we don't want to
Wait,
know.
but that's not true. Based on what? That I love Andy Worski?
Or, by the way, you're telling the story. We're doing a quick recap.
This is a quick recap.
I just wanted to say, no, we don't know anything about that side of the internet, and we're very scared.
Yes,
so.
This is the part of the internet that I'm telling everybody I can't really... Well, we'll see, because they did a great job here. Everybody involved did an amazing job, from Ethan Ralph to Alex Stein to these guys. Whatever they did to get Aaron to spill these beans, it was masterful. And we got to salute them, because the clips you're about to see, no matter if you hate them or you like them, put all that aside today.
The sector. I don't even know what that is. I'm scared.
Don't worry about it. And we don't need to know all the ins and outs of this universe.
We're
because
just here for Aaron. We're sorry if we're saying the wrong thing about the sector.
Don't worry. It's like we can't. I mean, we've got our eyes on every little thing going on this internet. And you could only spend so much time on one part of the universe. Me investing my whole life learning about their universe, it's not going to do me very good on this show. It's not going to be good for me. Okay. So I know what I know, and it's enough to get you through today. Okay? Don't worry about what I know about the universe compared to what you know. Okay. I think Aaron's about to come on here. Let's see. You guys are going to love this part. This is so crazy. We were listening to this one. I'll tell you where I was when we heard this. In the car on our way to Phoenix to go to the mall where I got this shirt. And these guys usually the drive to Phoenix is so unbearable. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes, but it's like a shitty long hour and 40. This made that drive. We were already in Phoenix. I wanted to sit in the parking lot and listen to more. Okay, here's Aaron. Let's see what happens. You're going to love these clips.
He would see no problem ethically with.
And I love this fat guy.
When you're partying with people and shit, and remember, he's heading to these sex clubs.
He had a funnel.
All right, guys. All right, Ash. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hide you off the screen. I'm gonna add Aaron to this call. I'll bring you both in.
This is Ashton. I love this guy.
He has already called Flaked, and he has confirmed his camera was working. It took a second to make it work. That's why I was making sure we were all ready. All right, guys. Let me, what I'm going to do? Ash, I'll phone you right back. I'm going to do a separate call. I'm going to add us all into one call. All right. So let's go like this.
And he's really matured and grown up. I really like the man he's become.
All right, guys. And Aaron seems to be ready. Hang on. Let me just redo this. Okay. Go add friend.
Not letting me skip like that.
Okay. Here we go. Create DM. Go. All right.
Okay.
Pop out here.
All right. We got Aaron here.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, we could sort of hear
it's about
ourselves.
A 5-hour stream.
There we go. You're good, boys.
All right.
There he is, Aaron.
Let me just do this real quick.
I just want us all to see on the board behind me. I think it's very important for people to know we are powerless over our addictions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good lesson to learn.
Okay.
We are
already.
We need a power. What is it? Greater than ourselves.
All right.
To help
well,
us
before we get into everything, why
Yeah,
don't you let them know who you are, where they can watch your show, and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. So could we just skip ahead to the good parts now, or do we let this play from here?
Play it at the beginning just
Play
for
it
a
a
little
little
bit, because I didn't expect to do this whole thing. So
Yeah,
the
I
notes are
know.
kind
We
of
thought
random.
I really thought everybody, but of course they don't. Okay, so
He gets off to it right away. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I mean it's going to be worth it for this one.
Aaron Imholt, the host of the Steel Toe Morning Show, or if you dislike me, the biggest cuck on the internet currently. No, boys, look, I know we're going to get into a lot of stuff, and I know I'm here to be Ray Liotta in Goodfellas, but I do have to say, and PPP has said it on multiple episodes, and Andy, I know you and I have talked. I think PPP's coverage of this, Ashton's coverage has been fantastic. I've laughed my fucking balls off when he's calling me a homosexual.
Well,
Right.
He's making jokes. He's happy. He's in a good mood.
I was all of those things. There's no, like, everybody's criticism. Those who don't like me, who go, oh, you were a degenerate, you went to this place. Yes, that's my whole point. I am guilty. I am working through this. I am working it off. I am paying it off. The problem I have is 3 other people who are involved in this will not admit their guilt and atone for what they've done wrong.
So, Aaron, can I just get you correct? You're going to admit today that you engaged in homosexual activities?
No, I did not engage in homosexual.
Okay.
There's one thing really interesting that I've noticed with all this. Aaron's going to spill all the beans. He's going to say it all. Stuff that would humiliate me, where I'd want to bury my body in soil. You'd never see me again. However, there are 3 things that still do embarrass Aaron. Any idea that maybe he did some gay stuff is something that's off limits for Aaron that he's not ready to talk to. The idea that he can't get it up is a big thing that he's not willing to cop to. And any talk about him having a small P is also something he's very ashamed. Everything else, no shame, no embarrassment. So keep that in mind. He still is very concerned and wants to make sure everybody knows he did nothing gay with Nick Rekeita, as if that would be bad compared to
what he's already saying. Should we smoke some shmee with this one? Or is that going to make it too hard?
Let's play a little bit. This is going to get us in a very good mood very quickly.
Yes.
When you hear him saying this stuff that he's about to say.
If you're hearing this for the first time, I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, because hearing this for the first time is, we're kind of beaten to death with this already. We're kind of like ready to move on with our lives because it's been But
we just have to tell you, just in case the body cam footage comes out or something.
Yeah.
This could get crazier. Yeah. So we just want everyone to know.
And it is, I'll tell you this, somebody needs to, and I wouldn't mind investing in a documentary about, like, a real documentary, whoever wants to, not from our audience, but somebody's got to do it. This could be on HBO. This could be on Netflix. This could be anywhere. This story is so rich that I'm willing to spend some money to get this documented the right way so that everybody could see what we've seen. Okay, let's play it here. Let's see what happens.
Kano licked my face 3 times, and it was always unasked for.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you, before we get into
Ashton, real quick. The only reason he licked my face is because I have a terrible
doing
habit
jokes.
of
Don't
leaving
listen to the
Molly on my
jokes.
cheek. That's the only reason he licked.
Is that serious? He was trying to lick Molly off your cheek or what?
Here's the thing Aaron.
In this case, it's hard to tell what's serious and what's a joke because it's so insane.
I have to be careful with you because you'll take it as serious.
No, Aaron, but everything is so degenerate that saying that's like, that's believable.
And you just tell me what you should for it.
No, it really is. It really is. Yeah. Okay, so before we go into, because I kind of want you to give us like a chronological walkthrough of everything.
Oh, shit.
But before we do that, I want to ask you, what is the crying on the floor story? Can we hear the crying on the floor story?
The crying on the floor story. First of all, I should have been more specific. Mm-hmm. But the crying on the floor. Is that different than the fix her story?
Tell us both.
Okay. The fix her story is this. Well, now we're going to jump out of order and we're going to get way ahead in the story. But all right.
Yes.
So yes. I don't think it's any secret. And I've received messages from people saying, how dare you reveal all this? I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys getting arrested revealed all this. But it's no secret that, people call it swinging. I would say it was just more straight up, just switching up, more than anything else. And I did, look, whoever she is now, whoever she is when I'm not around, when I was around, I'll admit to you, boys, I did fall in love with the Kayla that was around me.
Okay, so listen to this. Right off the bat, he's going, I know some people call it swinging. We were just switching up, swapping wives. Wife swap. So he's admitting to a wife swap. So Nick is having sex with April. He's having sex with Kayla, Nick's wife. And right here, right at the beginning, he's going to say he fell in love with Nick's wife, Kayla. Listen to this. That's what's happening here. He fell in love with Rekeita Law's wife while they were swapping. So this is what's been going on for the last 6 months.
Everyone, the chat is going crazy.
Really?
Like, look at this. How many people don't know about this?
Wow.
This is insane.
Okay, listen to this. This gets crazy.
Whoever this person is, whoever she was, and Nick would tell me himself, he would go, I've never seen her like this in years. There was something about the way her and I connected. There was shit we said to each other that we probably shouldn't have. But there was I just developed a very deep connection. You know, April was, doing the substances she was doing with Nick, and I was not okay with it. Her and I fought about it a lot. When you confront people who are on those substances, they tend to call you a lot of shit that kind of fucks with you. And I started to kind of question my own, worth and sanity and whatnot. And when Kayla hears those kind of things and she comes up and she gives you a hug and she says, I just want to let you know you're a good man. Like, you're at such a low point when you're doing all this shit that's all it takes. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to cling.
This is Aaron's first time trying out drugs. That's why you say you got to get the drug use out of the way in your 20s. Experiment with MDMA and coke and all these euphoria drugs when you're in your 20s, because when you wait till you're in your late 30s and you're doing a wife swap, you might think you've fallen in love when you're on these drugs. So the Rekeitas are used to doing drugs. Okay, the Rekeitas have been doing this wife swapping and Molly and coke and all the happy drugs for years and years. They understand that they could go to Jamaica, do a wife swap at the Sandals Resort, and everything's going to be fine. Everybody leaves the next day knowing that they were just there. They had a nice little party, a nice fun time. They could go home. Aaron does not. Aaron's doing MDMA for the first time. So he's feeling these feelings, and these emotions are almost too much for a man in his mid-30s. So when they're doing this wife swap, he's assuming that he's in love with Rekeita's wife. Rekeita and his wife, they understand you do the swinging, you go home the next day, you stick to the ones that you came in with, you have your party, you move on. Aaron didn't get that, so he fell in love with Kayla because he was not experienced enough to understand what the drugs were doing to him. A very dangerous place to be. So that could have also really led to the problems that you're about to hear. Listen to this.
To this person because they make me feel
love this.
like I'm worth a shit. And she did that. I will say this. Kayla Rekeita, for all her faults, for all this and whatever we may talk about, I really did develop a deep affection for that woman, and that was reciprocated. It's unfortunate the way things went, but I really did see that there's something in her that wants to be done with this. There's just no, in the position, in the situation you're in, there's no opportunity to actually do it.
May I ask you one thing? So you told me, and I'm pretty sure you said this on your show too, there was something about like you guys were like soulmates, like you had conversations about being soulmates.
We were in bed one night, and when Nick would be on his streams, April would be the corner demon. Of course, I think that's pretty much figured out by now. I'm not spilling any. But April would go down there, and the sickest part about me and a level of degeneracy I'll cop to is I didn't want to be around my wife. I wanted to be around Kayla. So when those two went off and did their thing, it didn't bother me at all. And as a husband, that's disgusting. That's degenerate. I think as PPP said, you have to answer to men and God on shit like that. But that was just the way it was. That's the situation I was in. And
Pause for
I'm
a
sorry,
sec?
Andy. I'm
Yeah.
jumping all over the place.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
Maybe you should show this picture of their mugshots,
Of course,
just so
yes.
we can get a visual
Again,
for the
there's
people
so
who don't.
much
I know.
going on. So much going on. It's killing me. Okay, let's show you that. I was thinking that too, because we didn't see a real.
Now April looks amazing in her mugshot.
Well, you know what it is? She's not wearing her early 2000s makeup. They've washed that up. Here they are.
Did you see that and go, oh, this eyeliner was
So-
doing me so bad this
Yeah,
whole
so here a
time."
lot of people think April looks good in this photo. Well, yeah, she looks better, not good. But yeah, they've wiped off that cruddy early 2000s Britney Spears eyeliner.
She looks at herself like this in the mirror in the morning and draws on a Sharpie line on the top and bottom. I can't get over
I know.
that.
Well, a lot of women, I was just watching Natasha Leggero, who is 50 years old, by the way, comedian Natasha Leggero. She was on Dinner Time Live the other day, and she's got those dark... Girls, nobody's doing that dark eyeliner on the bottom anymore. You got to let it go, especially when you're getting wrinkles and it's looking all crusty.
And not only does April put this thick black eyeliner on the top and bottom, but she doesn't even do a wing. She draws the thick black
Yeah.
line on the eyelid only, and you would go to do a wing. It's the natural
I think that's
motion,
the
but
least
she-
of her problems.
She
yeah.
stops short.
Shouldn't
of
be
the
wearing
wing.
any makeup. It should be illegal for her to try to entice another man. Okay, so here's the mugshot. Now, here's Kayla, probably looking the worst out of all three. This is the woman that Aaron fell in love with. Yummy, huh? Speaking of somebody who needs a
Mother
little
of five.
humidity in their life, she could use some humidity in her life as well. She's looking very dry. I
Yes,
don't
she
know.
looks like that weed commercial where the girl deflates. That it's that meme.
Nick's mugshot is great. And here's April, probably scared to death. I mean, her life at this point has been destroyed. She has no job, no family, nowhere to live. And it doesn't look like, her future is very bright, right? How is she going to meet a new man? Is the next guy she meets going to be from this universe of people who've been following this?
I've been worrying about her a lot.
Yeah, I mean, really, are we going to end up hearing that she's killed herself after all this? Well, we'll find out. So here they are. This was their mugshot, and they were busted with, I believe, 25 grams of coke/meth. They found firearms in the house with the drugs, of course, so that's a big problem. And then they found some shell casings, some used shell casings, which a lot of people got confused, thinking they were shooting off guns in the bedroom. No, when you go out shooting, you got shell casings all over your body. They're in your pockets. They're in your hair. You get home, you shake off. It's like sand at the beach. You got shell casings all over. I got shell casings everywhere. So... But yes, here it is. Fifth degree, schedule 1, 2, 3, 4. My old password. There's my PIN number there. Exposing my PIN number. So there they are. And so April was let go after about a day. And did they release her charges?
That's what she said.
So
I guess.
here's what's so interesting. When they all three got busted, the Rekeitas, their story to the cops was that April was just the nanny and that she had nothing to do with the drugs. So that's what they told the police. Oh, this is just the nanny. She has nothing to do with it. She was just here taking care of the kids. She knows nothing about the drugs. So the police let her go. But Aaron, on his podcast media tour, told a story that's much different. So the police, from what I've been hearing, the rumors are that the police are now investigating Aaron and April because Aaron has spilled the beans on a level where he didn't have to say any of the stuff that he's about to say. So he's probably fucked Nick's case because everything that Aaron said is probably contradictory to what Nick told the arresting officers.
Imagine you're in jail trying to figure out how to get out of this mess.
And
Aaron's on every podcast.
And he's loving it. And he's telling every personal story from the last 6 months of your life. Like, imagine that. Not only could Aaron end up fucking these people legally, but these people might be mad enough to want to, I don't know, kill Aaron when they get out?
That's why I feel like everybody has to know about this, even if you don't care.
Yes, because this
isn't
story ain't
Rekeita
over.
Gonna do something? I mean, if I was him, I would be killing
Rekeita Law has got to
Aaron.
do something. Yeah, I mean, and you can see he looks like he wants to murder Aaron in this picture. You know, I think they probably think that Aaron was involved in getting them busted. And again, everything that Aaron's testimony that you're about to hear could land them in jail for a very long time, including his ex-wife, who was almost off the hook.
And he's on there saying that he loves this woman.
That he
it's
loves
like, why
this
are you doing
woman.
this to her then? But why are you doing
He
this?
fell in love with, so imagine the MDMA, the pureness of the MDMA that he must have been on to fall in love with this. You're going to hear stories about how they all shared the same bed for months. The two girls in the middle, the two guys on the outside, they all shared the same bed. They lived all together in a house with 5 kids. So the Rekeitas have 5 kids living in the same house. It's not like they live with another ex. They're all there. Kids ranging from, 1 year to 16 years old. 5 kids in the Rekeitas household, while Aaron and the Rekeitas in April are all sharing a bed every night. The kids are knocking on the door. Hey, guys, everything. Wait till you hear these stories. We're calling them what do we call them? The Imholt 8, you know, because you got 5 kids on their side, 3 kids on Aaron's side. The Imholt 8. What do they call Tim Heidecker?
The Electric Sun
The
20.
Electric Sun 20. This is the Imholt 8. The real victims here, the kids that I have to go out and save now. Think about these 8 kids going through this, and Aaron doesn't seem to, you'll see there's no care in the world for the kids. You know, there's a 16-year-old kid attached to this. That's pretty old. You know, imagine this happening. Your dad is involved in a sex swapping drug thing. You're 16. You got to go to school with that. Aaron's kids, Aaron's family. Everybody knows, by the way. You know, everybody in this universe has sent detailed reports to every one of Aaron's neighbors, the principal of Aaron's kid's school, Aaron's ex-wife, Aaron's entire family. This is not affecting Aaron at all. Okay, we got to get back to this because Aaron's going to tell the story. It's a remarkable tale. One of the more fascinating tales I've ever heard. And again, I don't think you really even need to know much about this guy to know that this is wild. Watch this.
No, it's
have
very
your-
enlightening, everything you're saying. It's fantastic. I mean, it's awesome. You're doing
Andy,
great.
Awesome.
Yeah, Andy, you said the soulmate thing. That's
The
what it was.
soulmate thing. Yeah, but no, it's fine.
were in
It's,
bed. We
it's
were in bed
unfolding
one
the
night.
story. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We were in bed one night. We were lying together, and she whispered to me, she goes, I think you're my soulmate. And I, you know, the way we were at the time, I said, you know, I agree. I feel that too. There was just such a deep connection there. It's a connection we definitely got chastised for by the other two parties.
How do they find out about that?
Not necessarily
And
that.
Aaron
It's
is
just the
falling for
closeness.
all of
We would
this.
get
They
criticized.
witness you guys.
Like
Yeah, so
every
Aaron
single
thinks these guys are on his side. Maybe they are, but doubtful. What was the other thing you were going to say?
the questions that they're acting like they're in high school, being like, "So, buddy, maybe
Yeah.
you should tell us about what happened on your date last
and
night."
they're cheering him
Yeah,
on
that's
for
really
all this
cool.
stuff, and he's falling
and he has
for it all.
no idea
No idea.
that they're just prying him for all of the information.
Especially
that they
this
can
guy who is
possibly get.
my new hero. I would love to go to lunch with this guy if he's open to it.
And
I would love to speak. I love this guy.
adorable.
I might hire him as my new web developer. I don't know.
And he's soaking it all. Like, there's clips of him, like, there's a million clips we could show, but there's clips of him being like people calling into Aaron's show. I forget, like, I think it was Jesse calling in and being like, how much money did you make this past week? And then Aaron's like, I made a shitload, man. And
Yeah.
the way that everybody's talking to him, and he just buys it all.
He's on top of the world currently, and I tuned in this morning, he's still on top of the world. This is the best thing that could have ever happened to him in his eyes. Okay, let's get to some of the sick stuff
Yes.
before we interrupt. Once you hear it, then you'll understand why we're here. Let's get to that. Let's get that
Hey,
over with.
this
Getting
guy's kind of like
closer and closer.
Cameron, they're saying. That's why
That's
you
what I just
love
said.
him.
Yes, that's why I love him. I think he reminds me of my dear friend Cameron. Yeah.
I'm sure falling in love.
Kayla was sleeping once, and April and Nick we were in the bathroom where the safe and everything were discovered. We were in there, and I was sitting on a chair. I'm not going to say they sat me down, but I'm sitting on a chair, and the two of them are close to me, and they're going, do you understand that when you and Kayla talk to each other, nobody else can get a word in, and you don't even hear other people? It's like you're closed off in your own...
So April and Nick, okay, the other half of the swap, are now getting upset that Aaron is falling in love with Rekeita's wife, Kayla. So I'm so sorry, there's a lot of A's here. April and Nick are almost forming an alliance against Aaron. Maybe the whole family is forming an alliance against Aaron because Aaron's the only one taking this too far, okay? Everybody knows the rules of a threesome. We've all watched Entourage. You can't fall in love with the third party, right? Or the party that's not your wife or girlfriend. You can't fall in love with them. You can't give them more attention. We've all heard the rules of a threesome. Aaron's oblivious to this. So now April and Nick are kind of getting upset with Aaron that he's falling in love with one of the swap moms, which they are swap moms. They're all moms. And this, the woman he's falling in love with, by the way, is that woman we just showed with the fried body. 5 kids came out of her. 5 whole kids came out of her. He's in love with that. A cracked out junkie who's had 5 kids. I mean, it's rather disgusting, right? Okay. Here.
Little world.
Listen.
And I'm sitting there going, well, based on what we're doing, guys, isn't that kind of the fucking idea? And they're like, well, Nick and I don't do that. I'm like, that's your fucking problem, not mine. Like, I'm talking to this person. I'm connecting with this person. I'd like to talk and speak to this person. I don't know what to tell you. There were always these weird rules. Like, you play pickup basketball or pickup football, and some kid always wants to change the rules in the middle of a game. Like, now you got to have 2 feet in bounds instead of 1.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt. Like, if Kayla and I got too far a front or forward, affection-wise or feeling-wise, then the other 2 had to slam on the brakes. And that included shitting on the other one to me or shitting on me to her or Nick would always... The thing that actually led me to ultimately leave one night, it was a Thursday night, 7 weeks ago. Nick started questioning me about where Kayla put her prescription pills one night. Nick, we were sitting up in the bed watching a movie, and Kayla,
all 4 of them
Kayla was there
in bed,
and she went to grab her sleeping pills, and she set them down on my leg. This was a couple nights before Nick confronted me about this. Well, I guess Nick got a hold of Kayla's phone and started reading her messages. And there were really affectionate, heavy messages from Kayla and I. And he didn't like that. And he starts texting me. And he starts going, where did Kayla put those pills the other night?
Even this. Nick Rekeita and his wife in April haven't given anyone permission to tell these stories. You know what I mean? And these stories don't need to be told to tell the story about why they're all together being arrested for drugs. You could have just said, we were friends, we did drugs with them a couple of times. I guess somebody called the police and they got busted. You never had to tell anyone that you were doing a swap. You never had to tell anyone that you fell in love with the guy's wife and that Nick was fucking your wife and all the dirty details of that. You never had to say any of that. So imagine being Nick Rekeita and his wife in jail, and this guy is telling the whole internet, telling every enemy that you've ever had, telling everybody you ever known the ins and outs of your sexual swap and drug use involving your children, your personal DMs. I mean, literally everything you could think of. Imagine being them. Imagine the rage that would build up within you as you're coming off cocaine in the holding cell, getting texts from everybody that Aaron is doing this. Imagine what kind of a monster that might create. I don't know how Aaron's not scared.
Cannot wait. Does any of these super internety guys?
Yeah, do you guys know when
Rekeita is going to be free?
Yeah. Well, we'll show you, and we've got some theories on what he's going to do coming up. But let's play some of these sex stories first. Okay, should I just keep playing it from here?
Yeah.
Okay, here.
What do you mean?
You're gonna love this.
It's all.
Just you should put them on your dick.
I know. We'll just play the big ones.
I'm like, what? when she set them down on the bed, did she set them where your dick? I'm like, no, I think she set them on my knee. I'm not sure. Like, I didn't know because I don't remember that shit because that's psychotic.
The pills loose? Was it the pills
No.
loose?
No. She has them in
the case. Okay. In the case.
Like
All right.
people who have to take medication do. And by the way, before anyone even asks, I only saw her, other than like cocaine and stuff, I only saw her take medication that was prescribed to her. I will say that.
Other than cocaine and stuff.
But he would start questioning me, and if I didn't know the answer to these things that happened a couple days ago, he'd start.
So basically, he's describing a story where Nick starts becoming furious with Aaron for falling in love with his wife, and Aaron's trying to paint this as, isn't Nick crazy? Isn't Nick nuts? See, Nick's nuts. Basically, what Aaron has been trying to do, from my point of view, he's been trying to bury Nick, bury April, and get his side of the story out there until these guys have nothing left, so that by the time they come out to speak, everybody is already tainted with Aaron's version of the story. I think Aaron's got a lot to worry about as far as what their side of the tale is going to entail.
And of course,
right?
We knew Nick's out on bail. They reminded me. But he has just been posting on his locals.
Yeah, Nick's out on bail, $50K.
In the chat,
Proud
they
of him
say
for
Nick
that.
was posting on his locals that he's getting a new studio set up and will be streaming again soon.
So, yeah, as much of this as you've heard, we're only in the second half of it. We've got Nick's whole story that's going to come out very soon. It could be the complete opposite of what Aaron's been saying. We'll see. But I could only imagine that this Nick is pretty furious at what Aaron's been saying.
And a lot of people are really into arguing about, are you standing up for Nick? Are you standing up for Aaron? You Nick this, Nick. And these
About
guys
me?
all no, I'm just saying
okay. Yeah, in the universe, yeah.
We're not sticking up for nobody. This is just a fun for us.
Oh,
to
of course.
enjoy this
We don't even
story.
know. We don't even know. And by the way, I've said this, anytime the fools fight, it's like it's in our DNA to want to pick a side. Even back in the day, Kumia fighting Gino. We hate them both. You don't have to pick a side. They're both still fools, and it's okay to just laugh at everybody. You don't have to pick a side here.
And like the way that these, like, I love Ethan Ralph, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But the way that those type of guys act is they're like, oh, you said that you're like, there'll be a girl being like, Aaron is guilty of this stuff also. And then they'll be like, oh, you're sticking up for Nick because you're friends with Nick. And then they get in an argument.
So,
about,
there's a whole side of the internet
We're not
who's
involved.
Nick fans. There's a whole side of the internet who hates Nick. So people want to, they always do this. They always want to figure out, what side should I support? Don't support anyone's side here. I mean, these are all psychopaths. And just wait till you hear this stuff. Let's get some of these out. I don't want to keep interrupting this. We'll be here all day. I want to get through this shit.
Fucking freaking out on me. Like,
So you're just telling me the good
liar.
parts
Why don't
to
you
go.
just stop fucking lying? And I'm just like, dude, I just don't know where your wife put her pill. I don't pay attention to this shit. Did you fuck her 2 days ago when you were watching that movie? Did you have sex that? I'm like, Sunday, Monday, I think maybe but then I would realize I was thinking to myself,
You fucked her, right?
Why do you think he was so threatened by you fucking his wife? Like, shouldn't he have been chill with it?
Those two are extremely codependent. And even though they're into, I think they were kind of bored with each other. And that's where April and I came along. And
Was it accepted to have sex with her and vice versa? Like, was this like already okay, guys, I get to fuck her, so you can get to fuck her.
Let me take responsibility for something else.
Sure.
While April and I were on vacation in Las Vegas to watch the Vikings games and hang out with some friends.
Okay.
I did bring it up to her that I thought Kayla was very attractive. And my part of the degeneracy, my part of the weakness was it might be interesting to try this because we knew their reputation. Can you
walk me through like the decision process to opening your marriage?
Thank you.
The Wednesday night before we left for Las Vegas, we went out to dinner with the Rekeitas. Now, we met them in October at the comedy show. That unfortunately, Chrissy Mayer's father was murdered, and she had to pull out of the show.
Unfortunately, Chrissy Mayer's father was murdered that weekend, which is also true. This is what I mean. Trying to keep up with the fools now, especially since they're all podcasting 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. nearly impossible to keep up with all this. Yes, Chrissy Marr, the Christmas presents stealing woman from Compound Media, her dad was mysteriously murdered.
So
this is the group
out.
of people. This is their universe. Oh, my dad was murdered last week. Ha ha ha. Let's go hang out. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I heard about
Yeah, it was really sad.
Brutal, yeah.
Chrissy, a good friend of mine. Great.
Oh, she's
person.
great. Yeah, I love her.
She's wonderful.
So that was the one. Sorry to. It was the one where Nick performed that as well. You brought him in for that show. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Okay, and he told
look, man.
anyone if we covered that show, he would flag it and shit. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. So it was October.
I don't give a fuck. I think people who troll me recorded it and played it on their shows. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I know. But okay, cool. Timeline, perfect.
So we hung out. We drank afterwards. It was fun. It was a good time. April and Kayla got along great. Nick was on Molly. He and I got along as well as we could. He was cool enough. Then we hung out the next day before they left town. We watched a movie in the morning. And then April would go to their land to hunt. April is a deer hunter. I would go sometimes. November's a little cold for me. I'm kind of...
April is a deer hunter. Okay? She would go to their land to hunt. That's nuts too, right? Isn't that a nuts part of this?
Aren't you scared she's going to come hunt you?
That's what I'm thinking. You know, April's a trained gunman. She could take down a elk, a deer. What the fuck? This could end with April and one of her rifles. Okay, let's hear some more.
I mean, the amount
like
of
that.
humiliation that April has gone through this week is almost pure torture levels.
I can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
This is the most humiliated anyone has ever been.
And she didn't need to be. She could have the humiliation could have stopped at she was arrested for drugs. That's humiliating. The humiliation could have stopped with we're getting a divorce because of Mountain trolling us. But no. He needs to release all this info. We got to get to these stories. Let's keep.
I would stop hunting around then. She would go to their land to hunt. I've thought about this as time goes on, as I've been away from it. I don't know if they introduced her to anything in that time period or not. I have no idea, but I have my suspicions now. But we went out to eat early December, probably like December 4th, I would think. And we went back to our place. And we all sat and watched a movie. I think it was Inglourious Bastards, actually.
So random. It's just
Django Unchained.
You're all on Molly?
It wasn't Django.
It was a Terrantor.
And they're so excited that he's spelling this, that they're getting this exclusive after the big arrest.
I mean, look at this fucking Santa
how
up
happy.
here. He's so cute.
I mean, I don't think these guys have had smiles like this in years. I mean, these guys are so happy that they're getting this exclusive. I mean, this was seen by like 100,000 people.
I don't know. I feel like every time I see Worski, he's kind of smiling. Like
I'm glad.
that.
I'm so glad that he's doing well and happy.
Me too.
Okay, let's hear this story. This is where it gets good.
Tarantino.
You're all high on Molly? Like, let's watch some Tarantino.
No,
and that's where it begins.
No, in there? Okay.
No high on Molly. We went to dinner. We went to dinner. This was in December. We're watching a Tarantino flick.
Okay.
And Nick pulls out the little container that they call a bullet of cocaine. I learned so many cocaine terms, boys.
Let's
in
go.
The last 6 months. It's wonderful. I know about drugs.
Yeah, a bullet, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like shaped as a bullet.
Hey, I'm
right?
37 years old and I have 3 children and I did Molly for the first time. What a fucking cool guy I am.
Go, buddy. Let's go, buddy.
This is all going in
Bro.
the capsule.
Cocksucker if they're
Yeah,
ever
so-
one.
No,
You want
buddy,
to tell people
listen.
what a bullet is? I know what it is, but you go ahead.
Go ahead. You let us know.
Yeah.
So we're watching the Tarantino
No,
film.
just tell people what a bullet is, because there's not.
The little container of cocaine, like you
Easy
put
access.
cocaine in,
You pull it out of
and
your
can
pocket,
just
you go
screw
like
the
that,
top
and
then
bang. Yeah.
Give yourself a little
A
something.
bump. Yeah, fast bump. Yeah.
Worski knows. I'm a fucking choir boy compared to you, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm from the Midwest. I drink
That's
beer.
why I don't
from
judge.
I
I
don't fucking
can't
know.
judge.
I drink beer and watch Timberwolves playoff games. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Let's fucking go.
So we're watching it. Pete, shut the fuck up, Ashton. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're watching the Tarantino movie, and Kayla and April start making out. Fun, cool.
Right.
Here's something that's got me
I
thinking.
I can see it beginning that way, right? Like your wives start making out, and it's like it's cool, right? Because it's like lesbian action, it's hot,
Wonderful,
and that's what opens the door to it, right?
Yeah.
Boob touching and rubbing.
And I want to say, I appreciate your respect as a man. While I'm talking about that, to have both your hands above the screen, I do appreciate it.
Exactly.
People are
You
jacking
gotta-
to this too.
So
There are
fire me
people
up
out there who jack to the story.
God-
I know
godly
you said
man.
no interrupting, but
So
Very.
Hold on.
we're
like you were saying at the beginning about how he doesn't want anyone saying he's gay. He doesn't want anyone saying that he has a small dick or can't perform or whatever. He has no problem with this stuff because to him, this is what the coolest guy on earth
He's a man
doing.
finally. He's two chicks are making out. There's 5 kids.
He thinks that this
In the other
everyone's
room.
like kind of getting a little jealous hearing this
Yeah,
story.
so this is where this is really where it goes wrong because he almost wants to brag about this swap. To him, this is like a conquest that everybody wishes they were involved in, that they could get their wives to hook up in this manner. So he thinks this is really cool, which leads him to blab, blab, blab. And we're getting into that now.